Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Video came out 2 days ago from a very popular channel. FortNine has 1.5 million subscribers, and you can see in 2 days this false video, this deceptive video, this misleading video has 380,000 views. I'm here to combat FUD. It's one of the things I do on this channel. So let's go through this BS video and show how it's misleading, how this guy is lying. Let me explain it to you. Are you ready? Let's go. So one of the things about this video is it's highly produced. You can see that they've got camera footage from the Cyber Rodeo event with fireworks, and you're going to hear some sounds that don't fit with the Cyber Rodeo event. And there's a lot of dramatic pauses, dramatic sounds, dramatic imagery, and not a lot of content, not a lot of depth. Ryan, who created this video, Ryan F9, whatever, Ryan Kluftinger from Canada, made this video. You know, he saw a chance to get clicks. He saw a chance to get views. He doesn't care whether he's being accurate. This is one of the frustrating things about the FUD is it driven by somebody getting bought out by oil money, or is it being driven by clickbait? We don't know. But listen to a little bit of the start of this video and we'll dive into it. So for starters, you've got these sounds. Look at the sound effects that are being used. Like what is that? Machine gun fire, fireworks? What is the deal here? And he points to these incidents, and it is true that these two incidents did happen, that Tesla cars rear-ended motorcycles. This was late at night. One of the incidents was 1 a.m. One of the incidents was, I believe, after 4 a.m. And oddly, he notes that they were in HOV lanes. This is never part of any of the story that anybody has brought up that it happened in an HOV or high occupancy vehicle lane, a carpool lane. Why this is happening in high occupancy vehicle lanes at night, who knows? Why people are driving in the HOV lane at 4 in the morning, who knows? But it's not really a relevant detail, and it's just like throwing in some extra detail to make it sound maybe a little bit more credible, and it's not. And, you know, this is the thing. Yes, there were two incidents where Tesla's rear-ended motorcycles in a 2-week span. That doesn't mean anything. What about the entire... As far as I know, this is the first time I've seen any Tesla rear-ending a motorcycle. So, you know, why is it that you have... You know, Teslas have been on the road since 2008. Autopilot's been running since 2014, 15, something like that, in some form or other. So you can take this short window and say, aha! But you can take the long window and say, well, gosh, this is kind of rare. And one of the drivers, you're going to find out one of the drivers claimed that autopilot was on. The other one apparently didn't say, or we don't know. You know, it's somewhat common for people to lie. When they cause an accident that kills someone, it is somewhat common for them to lie. We don't know the answer to whether autopilot was really on. We don't know how fast the driver was going. We just don't know the answers to these questions. But let's dive in a little bit more.
Two almost robotically identical crashes are under investigation because artificial intelligence is the suspected link.
Suspected link by who? So, you know, again, you hear the tone, you hear this, you see this guy driving, he's got this dramatic setting that he's in the car, he's driving the car. Suspected link because one guy said autopilot was on and the other guy didn't. Because it's a Tesla and it has autopilot. Like there's never been an accident where a car rear-ended a motorcycle before. It's only when a Tesla rear-ends a motorcycle that suddenly there's a story.
You spot a fatal flaw in Tesla's autopilot.
Again with the heavy music. Is this meant to make the facts more persuasive, or is it meant to make the video more compelling without caring about your content? I think we know the answer, Ryan. What is this scenery? What is this background? What are we looking at? What does there's nothing happened on a bridge. What city is this that you're showing video from? What does this have anything to do with what happened in Riverside, California, and somewhere in Utah? Why are you throwing this in there? Dramatic impact.
8 cameras enable this car to see. Both crashes occurred on straight highway, so we'll consider the narrow forward-facing camera and its 250-meter range.
Tesla has 5 forward-facing cameras. Why are we only looking at 1? There's 3 in the front, and there's 2 that are looking somewhat forward on the side, on the C-pillar, I think. It's primarily the 3 in the front, but let's pick on 1 camera.
If the bike was going 65 and the Tesla 80, that equates to 37 seconds of reaction time. Maybe our closing speed was faster, but regardless, the computer had enough processing time by an order of magnitude.
More than an order of magnitude. Order of magnitude. Now, 37 seconds, 3.7 seconds is plenty of time for a Tesla to react.
Meaning Autopilot decided this is not a problem.
No. Autopilot didn't decide anything. We don't know if Autopilot was involved. Ryan is assuming that Autopilot was involved when that hasn't been demonstrated yet. The NHTSA is investigating these accidents, just like it has done before with other accidents. The NHT has not said Autopilot caused these accidents. Ryan has just off the cuff said, aha, Autopilot is suspected in these accidents, therefore this is what Autopilot did wrong. How the hell do you know what Autopilot did wrong? Who is this guy? What makes him qualified to offer his opinion on what happened in these accidents? The NHTSA is investigating it. Why are you jumping into this? You're jumping into this for clicks. Maybe you're jumping into this because you're being paid by somebody. Maybe you saw an opportunity to make a cool video and make some money from clicks. I don't know what the theory is, but this is ridiculous.
See, our brains can tell a motorcycle from a car, from a stop sign. These human-farmed data sets are fed to computer vision programs until they too learn to label videos.
Just to be clear, I drive a Tesla with Tesla Vision system with full self. I drive a Model 3 with FSD beta. I drive a Model X with FSD non-beta. My cars recognize motorcycles. Daytime and nighttime, they recognize motorcycles. Many times, many times, they recognize motorcycles. You know, if there's like over 1 million Teslas on the road. There's only 2 accidents like this?
And Tesla Vision is nothing more than more. And Tesla has billions of dash cam minutes. They sample millions of sketchy moments, which humans label and teach to AI. And that runs in shadow mode on your next drive, making a few more questionable decisions, which are corrected and relearned again and again through 7 modes of refinement.
I don't know where he got 7 modes of refinement from. I don't know where he came up with that. I don't think that's accurate.
But it's still just labeling. This is a motorcycle up close. This is a car far away. This is a problem. This is not.
So, this is the same challenge for humans. This is one of those things where people are trying to hold FSD or Autopilot to some standard that's impossible. Humans make mistakes. Humans hit motorcycles. As far as I can tell, Teslas are safer around motorcycles than human drivers. Tesla Autopilot is safer around motorcycles than human drivers. Tesla Autopilot is safer around bicycles and pedestrians than human drivers.
Now remember, our crashes happened at night, so AI can't see his body.
Ryan doesn't know what the cameras can see. Ryan doesn't know what they're capable of. Ryan isn't familiar with, he has no familiarity with how Tesla views things at night. There are videos of people driving their FSD and the car sees a person in the road before the human driver sees the person in the road. There's a human supervising the car. And before we see it on the camera, you can see the human showing up in the UI, in the FSD beta UI. There's a guy sent his wife out and had her stand down the road 300 yards in the middle of the dark, and the car's driving up, and the car showed the person on the UI before we could see it on camera, before the driver could see it. Ryan is making these wild assumptions. He's either lying or he's an idiot, making these assumptions about what the cameras can see and what they can't see, what the cars can see and what they can't see. He has no idea.
And they were on empty highways, so we have few linear perspective cues.
On empty highways? Teslas drive on empty highways all the time. I drove to Los Angeles and back, primarily on empty highways. I drove to Austin, Texas and back, primarily on empty highways. And low taillights? Lots of motorcycles have different kinds of taillights. What's the issue here?
My theory is that all the computer saw was 2 glaring orbs.
My theory? You're making a video. You have 1.5 million subscribers. And you are telling them that Autopilot is dangerous to motorcycles, and you're going on your theory? What training do you have in evaluating machine learning? What training do you have in evaluating traffic safety? You're a YouTuber who makes videos about motorcycles. You don't have any training in machine learning. He does have a physics degree, but he doesn't have any training in machine learning, or he studied physics at least. No training, no obvious evidence that, and no evidence that he actually researched to understand how Tesla Autopilot works. Like a typical fudster, clearly did not watch Autonomy Day, clearly did not watch AI Day, clearly has never watched a complete Andrej Karpathy talk or any other talk about what they're doing with Tesla. He didn't watch Ashok's recent talk, doesn't watch any of it. Just my opinion. Oh, well, my opinion. Oh, well, it's my opinion. There you go.
And both motorcycles were cruisers with low taillights. My theory is that all the computer saw was two glaring orbs close together and close to the horizon. It labeled this a distant car, so it hit our imminent motorcycle.
So let's be clear, the cameras in the Tesla windshield are high up. They're higher than human eyes. They're up near the top of the windshield. So their perspective is looking down more at the roadway. So what might be in the horizon for the human eyes, and it's not clear at all that they're in the horizon. This is stuff that Ryan's just making up, that the orbs are at the horizon. There's different cameras at different level. I think the 3 cameras are up here. I think they might be slightly different levels. He comes up with this theory that there are 2 orbs at the horizon. His theory, right? No evidence to support anything he's saying. But hey, really good production quality, Ryan. Your video looks good. You got great music behind it. It's very impressive. See, look at this camera angle. He's coming in really low to show that the orbs are at the horizon, and they're not at the horizon, right? The taillights are not at the horizon. Even in this low camera angle, they're not at the horizon. So Ryan, your theory is a pile of crap.
Of course, a human might make the same mistake.
Yes, human drivers do make a lot of mistakes. Ryan, are you comparing this to humans? No, he doesn't compare it to humans.
And statistically, AI is still said to be safer. But that is a dangerous misrepresentation.
The dangerous misrepresentation is this asshat purporting to be an expert on something he has no idea what he's talking about, scaring people from using software that makes the roads safer. If people like Ryan deter people from buying and or using autopilot, and more vehicles are driven by human drivers at 4 in the morning or 1 in the morning when they tend to be tired, if that's the scenario, oh, autopilot isn't safe, I better drive myself, more people are going to die. It's your misrepresentations, Ryan, that are dangerous.
Elon's referring to autopilot crashes per million miles driven, but think about it. An autopilot is massively biased to highway use, and on highways, cars usually travel a long distance before smacking into things.
It is true that you always have a hint of truth in any of these lies, right? So the motorcycle accidents did happen. That's a hint of truth in the middle of the lies. And it is true that autopilot is probably driven more on a highway than it is driven in city streets. Although I drive autopilot on city streets a lot. FSD beta is commonly driven on city streets a lot. I think that difference is changing. And yet the autopilot advantages, it's one of the things he doesn't talk about, the autopilot advantage over human drivers is improving in the data, but he skirted that point.
Formulas exist for adjusting the highway advantage.
Formulas exist, meaning I read one paper where one guy came up with a way of trying to adjust. He's going to try to adjust for autopilot miles on the highway versus regular miles. So he found one article and he's basing his expertise on one article. Ryan, this is not expertise. This is not professional. You're a hack YouTuber who happens to have a big audience, misleading your audience about the safety of Tesla Autopilot, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Interpret the data responsibly, autopilot is sometimes more dangerous.
This is what I love. He adjusted it, right? He moved autopilot up, and autopilot is still safer than no autopilot. In almost every situation, autopilot is, in his adjustment, in his video, Ryan, you're not even good at this, right? You should have put the blue line up higher than the yellow dotted line, Ryan. Ryan, you got it wrong. You made autopilot look as safe or safer than no autopilot, and where it's not safer, it's a trivial difference. What are you doing, Ryan? And you can see that at the very end, the gap is growing. Ryan, you got to work on this, man.
a catastrophic distinction for a feature that is only meant to augment driver safety.
Notice a catastrophic distinction. Catastrophic, really? What does the word catastrophe mean? Does the word catastrophe mean 2 motorcycle deaths over the course of 8 years of autopilot? Is that what catastrophe means? I think catastrophes usually involve a lot more deaths than 2 in, over a long period, Ryan. I think you need to work on your definition of catastrophe. No, he's using language to try to emphasize his point, ignoring the fact that he lacks the substance to back it up.
But it's all the same in a sales spreadsheet. Never mind the salvation of mankind. Maybe the world's richest car company is out to make money?
Oh, I like money.
So, yes, it's true that Tesla is trying to make money. Every car company is trying to make money. I don't know if Tesla is really the richest car company. I suspect that Toyota has more cash in the bank, although they probably have more debt as well. Tesla, the decision to do autopilot, like if you had a typical corporation and they're making short-term decisions, the decision to invest as much money as Tesla has invested in autopilot and FSD for years would never have gotten through with the corporate committee because it's very expensive and it's a very long time to pay off, right? They're not really making money on autopilot and FSD compared to how much they're spending on getting it working. They are hoping that they will get it to the point where it becomes a very, very valuable service, but they're probably not even making money on it right now. This is not a calculated decision to make more and more profits in the short run. This is a calculation to, number one, make the road safer. Yes, that is a primary goal for Tesla. And number two, yeah, if they succeed, it becomes hugely profitable, but it's a long-term play. And the short term, it's costing them more money. They're not getting return on their investment for what they're spending on autopilot today, on revenue today. This is a long-term play to make it even better.
Case in point, Tesla recently removed the radar that lived in here, so its computer can guess at distances based on parallax and what it thinks an object is.
No, it's not based on parallax, you moron. You could have watched Andrej Karpathy talk about pseudo LiDAR. He has a clip in this video from Andrej Karpathy, but he found one short audio clip of Andrej Karpathy talking, and he ignored Andrej Karpathy's presentation on pseudo LiDAR. It's not parallax. Ryan, I know you studied physics, but you probably should study research and how to present information accurately and how to come to genuine conclusions. You got a clip from Andrej Karpathy. Why didn't you watch his talk on pseudo LiDAR? Because are you stupid or are you a liar, Ryan?
The thrilling truth is that your Tesla no longer knows the distance to anything.
Yeah, yes, it does. It actually knows the distance to everything. It knows the distance to everything. It's using the cameras, it's using machine learning, it's using pseudo LiDAR, it's using all this stuff, all this research, all this work to be able to identify every object that it sees, determine what it is, determine what its location is, determine what its velocity is, what direction it's moving, and predict where it's likely to move. It's doing a lot. And Ryan doesn't care. He actually does not care about the truth. He cares about getting clicks. He cares about getting views. He cares about making money. This video is 8.5 minutes long. Do you know why it's 8.5 minutes long? It's 8.5 minutes long because as a YouTuber, if I make my video longer than 8 minutes, I can squeeze ads in the middle of the video. If my video is less than 8 minutes, I don't get the ads in the middle and I make less money on the video. So he pushed this video to 8.5 minutes so he could make more money. This is profit driven. The fact that, because you see this video is really slow paced, there's lots of pauses, there's lots of slow moments. If he was trying to make this video efficient, he could have gotten it down to 5 or 6 minutes. But he made it 8.5 minutes so he could make more money because Ryan doesn't care about saving lives. Ryan cares about making money for Ryan.
Not without radar, sending radio waves there and back again. It's a cost-saving deletion.
No, it isn't. They deleted radar because the radar was a high, noisy signal. It had a poor signal-to-noise ratio. The cameras were better than the radar. And when they conflicted, the radar was usually wrong. And it made it difficult for the car to do what it's doing, to create a vector space and identify where all the objects are. The radar was confusing things. It was causing a lot more phantom braking. It was creating lots of problems. They removed the radar is not very expensive. This is not a cost-saving deletion. The radar is cheap. The problem is that the radar does not give quality information. So they deleted it because the cameras were just doing better. Ryan doesn't care.
So the AI either has to ignore radar input.
That sound was added, and he's taking a clip of a Tesla hitting a truck with no concern for whether the vehicle was actually on autopilot at the time, right? Because this is the thing, like, these idiots act like humans never crash, like human drivers never crash. There's 40,000 people a year killed in America, a million people a year die worldwide from car crashes, and the overwhelming majority of these crashes do not involve Teslas, much less autopilot. Teslas crash less than other cars. And Teslas are very rare. They're less than 1% of vehicles on U.S. roads. They're more than 1% of U.S. sales, but they're less than 1% of all vehicles on the road still.
Trust radar only to occasionally panic brake for no reason. It's an embarrassing problem. And when we understand autopilot as a profit proposition, we can understand why Tesla buried that problem in the cheapest way possible.
Again, he's claiming that deleting radar was a cost-saving move. It was not a cost-saving move. Radar's cheap. Radar's been around since like World War II. Okay? It's not an expensive technology. They deleted it because it was not helping and it was making things worse. If he paid attention, if he actually cared what Tesla actually said in depth, if he made an effort to really understand Tesla's decision, he would know that he doesn't care. It's clickbait. It's making money. Maybe he's being funded by some of the people who hate Tesla. Maybe he's being funded by shorts, who knows? But very clearly, this guy does not know what he's talking about, but he makes a very pretty video.
So actually 3 weeks ago, we started to ship cars that have no radar at all. So we deleted the radar, and we are driving on vision alone in these cars. And the reason we are doing this, I think, is well expressed by Elon in this tweet. He's saying, when radar and vision disagree, which one do you believe? Vision has much more precision, so better to double down on vision than do sensor fusion.
So Andre didn't say it was a cost-saving decision. Andre said what I said, that the radar was a noisy signal, and which do you trust, vision or radar? And vision's the better thing to trust. Why is Ryan ignoring what Andre said and what Elon said? Is he calling Andre? Are you calling Andre and Elon liars, Ryan? Is that what you're saying? That you know more about self-driving software than they do? And Andre Karpathy, who is revered in the AI community, the machine learning community, that he's lying? Is that your position, Ryan? That forget about Elon. Okay, all you guys hate Elon. All you fudsters hate Elon. Fine. Do you think Andre Karpathy's lying?
That is a reckless idea. Imagine I hire two artists to paint a picture of the road ahead and and they're different. And I guess I better throw one away so there's nothing left to contradict the other, and that means I can drive assuming it's correct.
Well, that was a massive oversimplification, Ryan. Maybe this means you're an idiot, Ryan. Maybe you should actually research this and try to understand the decisions that they're making and recognize that they're trying to do that. Sensor fusion was a pain in the ass and it made the car drive less safely. And they removed radar and the cars drive more safely and they drive better. That's the goal. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He's deceiving, he's lying, he's dramatizing. But does he actually care about driver safety? Does he care about the safety of motorcyclists? Does he care about the safety of people on the roads? No. Look, you're driving a motorcycle at 1 in the morning or 5 in the morning. It's dangerous. Human drivers suck. Anybody who drives a motorcycle knows human drivers suck. Human drivers do not see motorcycles. It's a common complaint I hear from people who ride motorcycles, that human drivers do not see them. And all of a sudden, you're trying to deter a technology. You're trying to slow a technology that would make motorcyclists safer. That does make motorcyclists safer. This guy doesn't even care about motorcyclist safety, and he has a channel about motorcycles.
And the only place that logic makes sense is in a profit-loss column.
No. The whole enterprise doesn't make sense in a short-term profit-loss column. The whole enterprise doesn't make sense. He just has no clue what he's talking about.
If Tesla really cared to solve the discrepancies between radar and vision, I expect they'd check with LiDAR.
LiDAR? Really? But again, if he bothered to pay attention to what Andre Karpathy said, he would know what pseudo LiDAR is. And now you're creating more demand on the chips, more demand on the computing hardware, the more demand on the software to try to, not only are you now trying to interpolate between, you're trying to resolve conflicts between the vision, the cameras, and the radar. Now you've got to resolve conflict between the cameras and radar and LiDAR as well. He has no clue what he's talking. He doesn't know anything about machine learning. He doesn't know what chips are in the car. He doesn't know how the training works. He just pieced together a few bits and pieces here and there and made a short video that he lengthened to get ad revenue and make himself look like he knows what he's talking about.
It's like a million tiny radars dotting a pointillist map of accurate distances with definition.
Where are all the successful LiDAR companies, self-driving cars today? Where are they? If LiDAR's the answer, there's lots of companies that are using LiDAR. Why hasn't Waymo and Cruise and all the other companies that are using LiDAR, why aren't there LiDAR cars everywhere? Why aren't they making millions of cars with LiDAR? If it's so successful, where is it? Can a LiDAR-equipped Waymo make a Chuck Cook-style left turn? I mean, when I was in Chandler, Arizona, it wouldn't even make a left turn. It made 3 right turns instead, avoided making a left turn. My Teslas make left. My FSD Beta Model 3 makes left turns.
The reason every autonomous giant fail-safes with LiDAR, except Tesla.
LiDAR is a fool's errand, and anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. Doomed.
That statement only makes sense when I translate into dollars.
That's because you're an idiot, Ryan, and because this is one of those things with projection. See, Ryan is concerned about making money on his channel, so he makes a video longer than 8 minutes. He makes a video with a clickbait title. He makes a video to go after a topic that he knows attracts a lot of views because he thinks about money, and he thinks Elon is doing this for money. The whole AI project, the whole Tesla Vision project, any group of it, and if Tesla wasn't run by a powerful CEO who was a large shareholder of the company and could call the shots and everybody would just go with him, this would never get approved in another company. The massive investment that Tesla has made over the last 8-10 years in cameras in the cars and AI supercomputers and all the efforts that they've made, the chips and everything to get autopilot working, to get FSD working, that massive investment, it's probably not profitable yet. It will be profitable if they're able to nail it. So Ryan's a short-term profit guy. He doesn't even know that Tesla doesn't really make money on autopilot and FSD yet. They're probably not losing too much money on it, but that's not their big money maker. He doesn't get it. I mean, the take rate is low.
LiDAR is expensive, it's ugly, it requires pre-made maps that are unscalable to market.
Well, that doesn't sound very good. It requires pre-made scalable maps? Well, how the hell's that going to work, Ryan? Are you saying that you want to push self-driving cars off for 10 years and have more people die from human drivers while you wait for the magic LiDAR to come along and save everyone? What's your plan, Ryan? What's your solution? He doesn't have a solution. You'll see soon.
Of course, money is not the party line. Tesla would say that we drive with 2 eyes and our intelligence, so 8 cameras and an artificial intelligence is all you need for autonomous driving. In theory, in the future, I agree. But Tesla is making billions selling future features to consumers today.
Tesla is primarily making money selling cars to customers who are mostly buying the cars without FSD, without, the autopilot's included. They're not buying the car for autopilot. They're buying the car because it's efficient, because it's fun to drive. There's a lot of reasons people buy Teslas. The number of people who are buying Tesla because it has autopilot is small. The number of people who use autopilot is probably small. So Ryan, again, you don't know what you're talking about. You really should shut up. But hey, at least you're making money, right? It's so comical that a guy whose channel makes a lot of money by misleading people about this topic is accusing somebody else of being driven by profit. Ryan, come on.
And today, 2 motorcyclists are dead. Nobody wants to see a third.
Yeah, apparently you do. You want to see a third, a fourth, and a fifth. You know that motorcyclists are endangered by human drivers. You know this. You know this is a fact. Human drivers do not see motorcycles. This is a long-standing problem for motorcyclists. And you are condemning a software you don't understand that is saving lives because you're trying to make money on your video. You're disgusting.
And Tesla least of all. So let's suggest 3 fixes to our 3 parties, starting with Tesla.
This is where it gets good. This asshat actually thinks he knows how to solve problems. Oh, this is bad.
Don't call it autopilot. Germany has banned the term as false advertising.
I'm sorry, Ryan. What'd you say? Did you say what I think you said, Ryan? What did you say?
Germany has banned the term as false advertising.
Oh, look, Ryan. 3 weeks before your video got published, a German court overruled Tesla's autopilot marketing ban. You're wrong. You're an idiot. You're a dumbass. You didn't research your video properly. You're lying to your audience. I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're not doing a public service, Ryan. You're just making money and you're lying to people.
We all know selling an autopilot that requires drivers to be constantly piloting it is like selling a flamethrower that is not a flamethrower.
What? What does that even mean? What are you talking about?
It's willfully incendiary. Now to Tesla consumers, be skeptical. Any influencer can recognize that Elon Musk is an influencer. His genius is in saying the most compelling things.
Did you notice that this guy is an influencer and he's telling people that Elon Musk is an influencer? And look, he very clearly said, consumers, be careful. He's discouraging consumers for buying and using autopilot. He is making the roads more dangerous. Ryan, you are making the roads more dangerous by discouraging people from using the best traffic safety software that exists in the world today. You should be ashamed of yourself.
So before you trust his take on autonomy, just know that autopilot is programmed to shut down 1 second before impact.
More lies, 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 lies. Before you trust Elon Musk on autonomy, why does this guy think you should trust him on autonomy? What qualifications does he have? None. Zero. How much time has he spent working on this? I don't know, a couple days to make the video? Elon Musk, Andrej Karpathy, the Tesla team has been working for years on this, but this dimwit with a cool channel thinks he knows better about how autonomy works. It's disgraceful.
Who's the manslaughter charge going to stick to?
There is no manslaughter charge, you dumbass. Again, notice the subtle background music behind the noise at the event. Ryan's got his own somber, foreboding background music. All for dramatic effect, not to persuade you on facts, not to persuade you on content, but to persuade the audience by use of subtle or not so subtle imagery and music.
And finally, to motorcyclists. Yours is the deadly serious responsibility, but it's also the most vague. Maybe when headlights loom behind, weave side to side.
Seriously? That's your solution? That people should weave side to side on their motorcycles when there's headlights behind? That's the best you got? Does that work for humans too? When less than 1% of the cars on the road are using autopilot, why weren't you recommending this before? What is this? This is just total nonsense. This is like, that's your recommendation? This is how motorcyclists are supposed to protect themselves? Not very bright, Ryan. Not very bright at all.
And your lateral motion will be wider than a faraway car. It should help the AI to gauge your distance.
Seriously, this guy thinks that he understands AI well enough to tell motorcyclists that if you see headlights behind you, there's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that it's a Tesla on autopilot, and this is what you should do to protect yourself. Look, pretty videos. You're a very pretty young man. I'm sure you'll make some girl a wonderful husband for 3 years before she dumps you for a guy who actually has balls. But weak ass stuff, Ryan. Weak.
It's something, but I wish I had more.
Yeah, I wish you had more too, Ryan. I wish you had more brains. I wish you had more concern. I wish you actually put some effort into understanding how autopilot works. There's a lot I wish for. And what I wish is that asshats with big channels wouldn't go misleading people and scaring people out of using the most advanced traffic safety software in the world. So you can make a little bit of money on clicks and YouTube ads. You're a disgrace, Ryan. Look, he's got sources. Ooh. He didn't read them. He didn't watch, did he watch? This is the thing, like if you're going to do something like this, you could have actually gone deep. You could have watched Autonomy Day. You could have watched AI Day. You could have watched Andrej Karpathy talks. You could have watched Ashok's recent talk. There's a lot you could have done to inform yourself before you made this video, Ryan, and you didn't. You took the cheap way out. You made a short video. You lengthened it so you can get your ad revenue. You went thin on content. And you made a lot of assumptions, and you pretended you know what you're talking about to deceive your audience of 1.5 million people, 380,000 of whom have already watched your video. It's a disgrace, Ryan. It's a damn shame that you have this potential, you have this audience that you could actually inform your audience, but instead you're just trying to make a little bit of money off the audience you built. And then you're accusing somebody else of trying to make money. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you for watching. Please check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. Please support this channel on the Locals platform, on Patreon, or as a YouTube channel member. Links to everything in the description below. Please check out my other videos. Please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and watch out for jerks like Ryan.